Hello and welcome to the show. Today is a freestyle session, and it's me just reminiscing about something that happened a while ago, maybe 3 months back. Now, I was giving a live session on how to start your business in 3 easy steps. This was a partnership between me and Avon Tech Hub. It's one of these business incubators in Abuja. And so they were taking a couple of people from the email list and then we're running them through how to start your business idea. At least that was the whole point of the session. We assumed that there are still a couple of people out there who want to start a business but who don't know how. So that was the whole point of the training session. But something interesting happened. A lot of the people who showed up apparently already had businesses. There were like 3 or 4 people who were in the fishery space, which was quite a coincidence because that was after the time that I had made those podcast episodes about what to do if you're going to get into the fisheries business. I mean, like how I would have handled it if I was going to get into the fisheries business. Because during the Christmas holidays, my wife and I, the kids, were back home in Makudi. That's the capital of Benue State. And my wife is a fish person. My in laws are fish people. My mom's a fish person. I don't eat fish. And so it just turned out to be a fish fest. So today, catfish dried, tomorrow, catfish fried, next tomorrow, catfish peppered, that sort of thing. Turned out to be a fish fest. And so I thought it would be a nice idea to use some of the principles that we talk about over here on the podcast and try and illustrate and show how one would get into the business. So it turned out to be an interesting coincidence that the people in the fishery space showed up. Then there was someone who wanted to start a business in, what's it called? I think it's called, no, not aquaculture. What's it called? Something agriculture. That is where well, because normally what happens is if you want to farm or you want to plant, you have to wait for rainy season. For some crops, you need to wait for the dry season and then things like that. But then in some parts of the country, particularly up north, okay, well, Plateau is not north, but Plateau and above, there are some parts of the country where they're beginning to fool around with this sort of thing. Is it irrigation farming or something? Well, the whole point is you set things up so that water, nutrients, everything is available all year round. So in your greenhouse or on your plot of land, you're going to be able to grow whatever it is you want to grow all year round. So somebody wanted to start that business. Then I think there were 2 or 3 other people in fashion. But you get the gist. All the people that were gathered there, let's say 90% of them already had their own businesses. So it turned out to be an interesting session because I came there prepared to talk to people about how to start a business, but then only delving into business challenges for people who already had businesses. Now, there was one person in particular who was there, and I could tell that she wasn't there because she wanted to start a business or she already had a business. She looked like a marketer, and after you spend a while in these sorts of communities, you sort of figure out how you just kind of figure out who is who. You get a sense of who these people are. So she looked like a marketer. Well, of course, before the event began, I was engaging everyone, having conversations with everyone. It turned out that she indeed was a marketer. And I tried to ask about what she does. She told me about some of the services. And I had already figured out that the reason why she was there was because she was trying to market her products and her services to people who were there. And yeah, so I'm not going to fault her for what she did because the truth is, we need to look for ways to drum up business no matter how we can. But I really think that when people come for business networking sessions, things like that, I really think it's the wrong kind of place to try and do a direct sell or a direct pitch for people. Because you find that when people come together for some sort of business engagement, they are there for another kind of purpose. So the reason why, in theory, people were there that day was because they needed to learn how to start their own businesses. So you coming to sell your products and services to people who are concerned about starting their own businesses, I'm sure you can see how it's not a good jibe. It's going to be very hard for you to have those sorts of conversations. Now, it turned out that most of those people were business owners, but the dynamic is still the same. All these people are business owners who have come for a business seminar because they are trying to learn something, or maybe because they are trying to sell their own goods or services. So you showing up and trying to hawk something on them, so excuse me, it's probably not a good idea. Sorry, still recovering from the sore throat. Okay, so that's one reason why I think it's not a good idea. So if you're one of those people, you're a marketer, you see that a bunch of business people are going to be gathered here, let me go to sell my product or my service. That is why I don't think it's a good idea. The interest is probably not going to be there. Now, another reason why I think you shouldn't be using these kinds of tactics is because it's probably not the best use of your time. Because let's face it, we were there for the event. The event was scheduled to be for 2 hours. I'm a Q&A kind of person. I like question and answers. I like it when people challenge me on the ideas. This doesn't make sense. How do you do this? How will this apply to my context? I love those sorts of things. So with the Q&A, people asking questions and us trying to flesh out things, especially around how you can use artificial intelligence to help start your business. So in the midst of all that, the program ended up spending 3 hours. Now let's face it, as a marketer, your time is limited. Are you truly going to come to an event, sit down there for 3 hours, and only hand out your flyers to maybe 30 or 40 people? That is not a good use of your time. I think you're better off walking into the streets, going to the car park of a bank, you look at all the expensive cars, and you put your flyers only on the expensive cars. I think that'd be a better way to spend your time. At least if you do that, within 3 hours, you probably would have distributed about maybe 200 flyers, 300 flyers. I mean, who knows how many banks that you can visit. So for those of you who are based in Lagos, where banks are close by, that might not be a bad idea. In Abuja, banks are a little, what's that word? Is it interspaced or whatever? Real spread out. So trying to get to all the banks would be a problem. So I think coming as a marketer, trying to disguise yourself in this sort of thing to sell your wares, to drop your flyers, probably not a good idea. Your time could better off be spent elsewhere. So if you're someone who uses these kinds of tactics, these are the reasons why I think you should try something else. Optimize your time. Now, there's one more thing, and I think it's the key thing why I wanted to make this podcast episode. When we started talking about the services that she was representing, it turned out that she was a marketer for a what's the word? Should I say conglomerate? When you have one business person or one business company having a portfolio of companies, products or services. So it was that kind of situation. So technically speaking, it was all one name, like Dangote, for instance. Yeah, Dangote. But under Dangote, there's Dangote Cement, there's Dangote Spaghetti, there's Dangote Juice, there's Dangote Transportation, there's Dangote, and you get the point. These are all disparate things. So if you're a marketer and you're trying to use a shotgun approach to market your Dangote products, and you want to talk about transportation and talk about spaghetti and then cement, the customer base is wide and too varied. You're not going to be able to have very focused conversation. And when it comes to these sorts of things, if at all you want to sell in these sorts of things, you have to be extremely targeted about what you're trying to sell, the message that you have, and who it is that you're going to talk to. So this lady came for this event. She was going to market her products or services, but then she started talking about photography. Then she spoke about videography. Then she spoke about event planning. Then after that, she spoke about dispatch skills. And then after that, there was a little bit of, was it cryptocurrency or something like that? Then there was also interviews, documentaries, commercials. Then there was also drone coverage. Then there was also 360-degree booth. That is that thing where, you're standing, you're looking fly, and the camera spins around you and captures you from every single angle. Now, some of you might be confused, wondering that, am I just making stuff up? Really, I'm not. I'm actually holding the flyers right now and looking through them. And we're not done. So there's a list of, yeah, so it turns out we're done. But you see what it is that I'm trying to say. You're coming into the event, you want to market some products or services, but then you don't even have a clear idea of who it is you're going to talk to or what it is that you're going to sell. Instead, when you engage someone, you're going to try and talk about photography, videography, dispatch skills, cryptocurrency, documentaries, commercials, drone coverage, 360-degree booth. Now, let's face it, when you have that kind of marketing message that is garbled, how do you think you are going to be effective in getting someone to buy? You've just gone there with a shopping list and telling everybody this is what is on my shopping list and you expect to make a sale. That's not how, it's not going to work that way. You're better off coming, sitting at the event, try and read the room. Okay, is this mostly a singles crowd, or is this mostly a crypto crowd, or whatever? You read the room and then you blend accordingly. So if you came for the business seminar, you're a marketer, you want to market your products or services, and it looks like everybody here is a tech bro or a tech sis or a cryptocurrency bunch, then what you do is you forget all these other things and start the conversation on the crypto flyers and then see how things go. In fact, I actually think that the best thing the lady should have done actually was to show up and to try and use this as a lead gathering exercise. So she should have showed up, maybe been a part of the seminar, or maybe not, but she should have engaged in conversation with as many people as possible and collected the phone numbers of as many people as possible so that the day after she can now follow up in much more detailed business conversations. And I think that that's a better way to go about it. That way, in the phone conversations or the SMSs or the WhatsApp messages that will follow with people the day after the event, she's going to be able to be extremely targeted. For the crypto person, she will talk about crypto products. For the lady who is single, she will talk about wedding photography. For the guy who is just engaged, she will talk about videography. What else? For the person who is looking for extra income, she will talk about dispatch driving opportunities, and then on and on and on. So, bottom line, the reason why I'm making this episode is we're still fresh in 2024. Okay, well, not fresh. We are in April. Okay, so that's 4 months. Okay, it's becoming stale. But there's still those of you who are interested in business education, those sorts of things. You're going to be going to events. But please, I'm just trying to let you guys know. You want to be effective at sales and marketing. I really don't think when people show up for a networking session or business sessions, things like that, I really don't think that's the best time for you to go around trying to sell your products or your services. And then plus, let's face it, your city is a small city. I mean, no matter how big it is, it's a small city. So Abuja is big, roughly, well, they say 30 million people. I don't know how true that is. But let's face it, there are not too many tech hubs in Abuja. And tech hub people kind of hang out in the same circles. If this is what you do, go for the seminar, try and steal contact sheets or try and market or whatever. After a while, people know you and they avoid you. It's like, oh, that lady that came last time, oh, she has come again. Okay, it's that crypto girl, she has come again. And there might be some venues where they might actually deny you, deny you entry. So it's a small crowd. Don't poison your reputation. If you want to sell, you want to do your marketing gig, we can't begrudge you because you have to make a living. That's the reason why your boss pays you as a marketer. Sit down, give it some thought. Don't just approach every single crowd. Approach the crowds that you think gives you the best opportunity to find people who might be interested in what it is that you have to sell, in what it is in your product or your services. Try and figure out the right crowd, show up in front of them, and try and maximize your time and your opportunities. But sitting down in a 3 hour, 4 hour seminar only to hand out 40 or 50 pamphlets, that's not the best way to use your time. But even if you still want to try these tactics, please don't show up and then start talking about photography, videography, dispatch driving, cryptocurrency, documentaries, commercials, drone coverage, 360-degree booth. It's a bit much, Try and be smart. Pick one. Have really tailored conversations. Oh, another thing. At the end of it, on one of the flyers, there were one, two, three, four. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. Are these different phone numbers? Okay, 7. I'm counting the phone numbers here. So these are 7 phone numbers Then let's see, 48, 7, 40, 8, 9, 8, 9, and then three more. Is this 89? Okay, yes, 9. So there are 9 phone numbers on it. Whenever we have a call to action and we're trying to get people to take the next step, please and please and please limit the number of options that you have. Chances are, studies have shown in America and in the US anyway, chances are that if you want someone to take an action and you give them too many options, people are not likely to take either one. So if your call to action is, if you're interested in any of these, here are these 9 phone numbers. Call any of these 9 phone numbers. That is not a good call to action. You're most likely saying, you're probably better off. Look, if your business, Oga, the person who paid your salary has 9 phone numbers, then it is what it is. He has 9 phone numbers. But in that case, ask the person, what line do you use? Okay, here are 2 Econet. Oh, sorry, not Econet. Econet no longer exists. 9 Mobile. Here are 2 9 Mobile numbers. You can call either of these ones if you're interested, or you can call to book an appointment or whatever. You hand the person 2 phone numbers, 1, 2, 3 phone numbers. That's okay. Don't wrap up these conversations and then hand people a list of 9 phone numbers and say, pick whatever it is that you want. So for call to actions, limit them. So this whole thing of multiple flyers, total 9 phone numbers and all that, please don't do that. Just the more tailored you can, the better. So she was having a conversation with me. A couple of people were also listening. It wouldn't have been a problem to say, are you interested in finding out more? And if I said yes, I was, it's not a problem asking, oh, what line do you use? Okay, MTN. Okay, why don't you call this number? You take a biro and you draw a line underneath it. Trap. You say, this is an MTN number. Call it. Somebody will respond to you right away. You have made it easier. There is going to be no decision fatigue, because the next day after the seminar, if I'm curious about crypto and I want to call, all I have to do is pick up that flyer. There are 9 phone numbers there, but the phone number I'm supposed to call, she underlined it sharply, and I will call that number. So that's how it works. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Sorry if this episode was a little bit rambly. I know there was a lot that we had to touch on, but I just wanted to let you guys know, because I see people coming and trying to sell like this. I hope you're not. But if you still decide that you must sell at these sorts of things, then sure, no problem. Just rewind this episode, start from the beginning, make some notes, and then adopt your process accordingly. So thanks for your time and attention. Connect with me on WhatsApp. My name is Tavishima Ayede. I'm the host of the show. You can confirm the spelling of my name and my email address from the link where you're currently listening to this episode. Also connect with me on WhatsApp. I'd love to hear from you guys, especially when you have questions or you want to say, I agree with this, I disagree with this. Can you explain this some more? Or how do you apply this to my own context? I like hearing those kinds of questions. So the phone number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234 if you're not Nigerian. So I prefer WhatsApp. I'm still on Telegram, but to be honest, I check my Telegram maybe once every 2 weeks. But if you send me a WhatsApp today, I definitely will respond, latest tomorrow evening. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode.